How's everyone doing? Coach, maybe some opening thoughts just off the bye week into Wake Forest.
Yeah, well, Wake Forest is a really good football team. You have to ignore their record and look at the way they play on film. And they're big, and they're physical, and they're fast, and they're disciplined, and they've got experience at the key position, which is quarterback. Hank Bachmeier, who I actually recruited when I was at UCLA, and he's got a lot of snaps, very experienced. We've got the best running back that we have faced to this point in time, and tremendous offensive line as well. Defensively up front, they play really hard. They're physical. They know what they're doing, and you can tell it's a really well-coached team. So, we got our work cut out for us, obviously, and it'll be a heck of a challenge. And it's going to have to go out and play really, really well, and try to win the turnover battle and try to hold them from getting explosives against us and hopefully make some plays. But it's a really, really good football team, really impressive on tape.
Can you describe their offense and how tough it is to prepare for, or is it tough?
It is very tough to prepare for. Their little mesh stuff where Hank will keep the ball in that running back's stomach for a long, long time, and then either give it or pull it and throw. And you have to be patient, but you can't play on your heels. And they do it to perfection. Our guys have given us a good look so far, but it's never the same as it's going to be when you're playing a team that does it for real.
How did your bye week go? What sort of things did you do with the evaluation of your team?
Well, we did a complete self-scout, offensively, defensively, on special teams as well. Just where we were, things that we were doing well, things that we need to improve on, how we can improve on them, if we were putting the players in the right position to have success, if there were guys that we needed to see emerge and find roles for. So it's an evaluation of everything that we've done, the calls we've played, the defenses we've played in certain situations, what's working, what's giving us trouble, how we can coach them better. You spend a lot of time in a week like that just self-evaluating. And then we got a little bit of work on Wake, not a ton, but enough to just get an introduction to them. We had 3 really good practices. Our guys had tremendous energy and focus. And then we gave them some time to, recover a little bit and rest. And didn't have meetings in the afternoon so they could focus on school and focus on getting rest. And they came back this week, and they've been good so far.
During your evaluation, what were the top few things that you thought you were doing well?
Doing well? We're running the ball okay, although the last game we didn't. Our third down defense is okay, although it can be better. Our field goal kicking is good. Our punting is good. Can always be better. As a coach, a lot of times you spend more time on the thing that you're not doing well, that you need to improve on. And so those are the things that we really took the hard look at.
How much of an opportunity is it to add to the playbook? Kind of introduce more things?
You have your system, you have your concepts. You're always manipulating them every week. You're trying to hide things that you do by formation and motion or personnel group. In terms of just adding plays, like I said, that's a constant, but it's got to be within your scheme. So you're not going to put in a whole new package necessarily. You might add a play or two, but things that you've typically done in the past so that you have familiarity with them.
How do you balance the rest they need to keeping sharp at what you want them to play?
Well, we have to continue to build endurance, so getting the work in is really important. And so we worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday hard on the field. That just gave them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to recover. And since we're a morning team, I think that really helps us as well because they get the majority of the day to be off their feet, be in class, to rest, to recover, to get treatment, things like that. So I haven't felt like our team has been fatigued. I think that we did a good job this whole off season. The players did a good job this off season of pushing and building some endurance, and I think that's going to help us down the stretch.
Jim, are you a believer in momentum?
I'm a believer in momentum week to week. I think Am I like a believer in that 1 week carries over to another? No, I'm not. I think every week's a new entity. Every week is a new challenge. No, I don't believe in momentum. I believe in momentum in a game, in a drive, but in a season, no. I think that's something that can lead to disaster. because it allows your mind to wander and dance, and complacency seeps in, and then you're in a bad spot. Nick who? He's doing great. He's doing great. He's doing great. He's doing great. Doing great. Skylar doing great. They're all doing great. Tucker? Tucker's not doing great. Yeah, Tucker's not doing great. Tucker had surgery. He had the Liz Frank, and he's out for the year. The other guys should all be back and ready to go. Yeah, it's more of a ligament type of deal, but it's a pretty serious injury. So he had surgery little over a week ago. Heard it on the last. Nobody noticed. Nobody asked. I'm not gonna announce injuries if you guys don't ask. So he heard it on the last play of the Buffalo game, and had to have surgery. He thinks we're playing better. You know, he's never going to be satisfied. I mean, you know, he's a defensive-minded coach, and I mean, shoot, he's a pretty good judge of things. You know, as a head coach, he won 185 or something games in his career in college, in the USFL and the NFL. So when he tells me something's not right, I typically will listen to him. But he's a little more satisfied. We're a little happier, but he's not satisfied. He didn't think we're wrapping up enough, and you know, I share his sentiments. So. About does my dad? Yeah. No, he doesn't want to do that. That's not his deal. He's coached enough. He just talks to me. He doesn't want to talk to these guys. I mean, he's a fan now, so he's our most ardent fan. He'll probably watch the game 3 or 4 times over and over and over and over again, and then I get my report. So.
What makes Claiborne the best running back?
What's that?
What makes Claiborne the best running back you faced?
Oh, vision, speed, quickness, burst, toughness, ball security, ability to catch it out of the backfield, decision making. He's special. Yeah, I think he's really special.
Jim, your letter to the fans yesterday, man, is that your idea?
It was not, no.
Coach, were you able to, you know, because it's kind of ironic or coincidence that you mentioned Jeff Olber for a couple of weeks ago comparing him to Buffalo linebacker. Now that he's the Jets interim coach, did you get a chance to watch any of the games of those last night? And what's your feeling when you see someone, you know, be successful as, you know, you hope him to do?
I'm really excited for Brick. You know, he's always been really special to me. When I was in San Francisco, we drafted him, and we got really, really close. I got to coach him for a long time there, and then was able to hire him. I believe it was his first real coaching job at UCLA. He was our special teams coordinator, linebacker coach, then became our defensive coordinator. Then he moved into the pros with Dan Quinn at Atlanta, and I've just always really been a big fan of Jeff as a person. He's just, you know, he's everything you're supposed to be as a man and as a coach. Just great integrity, toughness, honesty. I'm really excited for him. Got to talk to him a little bit last week, and watched a little bit of the game last night. Saw his press conference, and he just conducts himself in the right way. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not the head coach of the Jets or somewhere else next year. I mean, players respond to a guy like that because he's so genuine. He just doesn't ever put on an act. And you know, he's, like I said, he's just great integrity and toughness and morals and great family man, and just everything about him is exemplary.
Can you tell guys how they coach them?
When he was playing? Jeff was a guy, you know, so I was a defensive coordinator and he was a linebacker, and we'd get in games, and you know, it's almost like the catcher, you know, the pitcher shaking off the catcher on a call. You know, I might make a call, and Jeff had a feel, and he'd give me the signal that he wanted, and you'd go with it, you know, because he was out there playing and he had a feel. And, you know, he was the kind of guy you'd ask for advice on things during the week. You know, what do you feel comfortable playing? And he was just very, very meticulous in his preparation, had great instincts, understood the game very, very well. And he's carried that over into coaching. You know, when I hadn't seen him coach, and then when he came to UCLA in his first meeting with the special teams group, you just went, wow, okay, yeah, he's really got it. But yeah, as a player, you got to feel that he had that kind of that coach's mindset, the way you analyze the game.
Is it surprising to you that 2024 you can still be going against a quarterback that you were 3 days ago?
Yeah, the new rules and the COVID year and all that. Now, Hank, I believe, was a junior, but I have a picture of Hank and I together, as a matter of fact. And I did a Boise State game for ESPN a few years ago, and Hank was the quarterback then. So it's just been a pretty amazing journey. And, you know, he's always been a super kid, and he's always been a really great competitor. And, you know, he's had his chances, and he's made the most out of them.
They've had a pretty good passing offense so far.
They do.
In that regard, just what does he do that helps them football?
He's a good decision maker, and he threw 2 picks last week, but he took ownership for him, you know, and he's playing against a pretty darn good defense, and they were playing from behind. But he's a really good decision maker. He takes accountability, like I said, so he's a leader. Guys are going to follow him. He's got good receivers to throw to. He's got, some really big, physical, talented receivers, a really good slot receiver who's their leading receiver. Tight ends, they're a tight end-centric team. They didn't have 2 of their tight ends last week, but they'll have them back this week. And anytime you can run the ball the way they can run the ball, and teams have to commit to that. And that slow mesh game, guys tend to get open, and Hank makes good, accurate throws.
Wake Forest has struggled a little defensively, giving up 34 points a game, 480 yards a game. Do you see vulnerabilities there, or is that kind of misleading?
I think it's misleading. I think, I walked in here 2 weeks ago and told you that Temple's defense was really good, and you could look at their stats and say, well, he's full of it. Temple's defense is very good. Wake Forest's defense is very good. Stats are completely misleading, in my opinion. It's what you see on film. And what I see on film is a team that is physical, they tackle well, they're disciplined, they fly to the football, they know what they're doing, and I think they're really good. I don't really look at stats. I look at the film and what my eyes tell me. So I'm impressed with them. Just like I was impressed with Temple. It didn't surprise me one bit the way Temple played on defense against us 2 weeks ago. Not at all, and it won't surprise me. And this is going to be a heck of a battle. We've got to be able to hang in there and try to find a way to win it late.
You're 4-0 at home so far. Do you think you're starting to build a real home field advantage?
I think it always helps when you play at home, just the familiar surroundings, staying at the same hotel, being in the same routine, being in the same locker room, running out the same tunnel. We've been there a lot. We've practiced there several times. I think that just the confines of home are more comforting, and so if we could play all 12 games at home, I'd be all for it. But the fact is that we have 7 at home, which is pretty great, and we have to take advantage of it. Just feeling like we are able to maintain our routine. I think routine is so critical as you get into that last 48 hours of preparation, and we've been lucky to have 3 games in a row, this being our 4th game at home.
When you took a hard look at your running game and you come away thinking you played okay so far this year, what was it at the last game? Was it something that Temple was doing that made you struggle?
Temple did a really good job of playing man coverage and being successful in their man coverage, which allowed them to bring an extra guy up into their run support. They did a nice job of getting up the field and knocking our tackles off of their points, backdooring us some. Our aiming point, I said it after the game, our aiming points were off a little bit. We just didn't play well up front. Our offensive line didn't play to the standard that they're capable of playing. I have a high regard for our offensive line, and they know they didn't play well enough. So we just have to be more disciplined. We have to be more exact in where we put our hat and our hands and what our point of aim is. And if we can do that, then we always have success or have a chance to have success in our run game. If we don't, then it's going to be tough.
I know you said you don't believe so much in momentum from game to game, but winning a game like that, does it bring a different energy to the team or confidence to the team?
I think it helps you, if you get into a game that's really tight, know that you can win it. That you can go down to the last play and win it, but you still got to do it, But yeah, anytime you have some success, it's going to build some confidence, but you still have to go out and execute it, So, you know, we've been able to blow a couple teams out, and we finally won one that was really tight, and I think that gives you some confidence that at least you know how to do it. You know, but you also look at a game like that and you compare it to the games where we've, you know, had kind of a lopsided victory, and you go back through the week and how you practiced and what your mindset was and what your attitude was going into the game, and you can learn a lot from that too. You know, well, maybe we didn't have the right mindset going into this last game, and that's why it was as close as it was, you know, aside from the fact that I thought Temple was a good team. And we know Wake is a really good team. I mean, you put them on, you just put the film on for 3 or 4 plays, especially, you know, their offense, which is the first thing that I looked at last week, and I was like, oh, geez, they're big. Freaking monsters up front, you know, and their receivers are 6'3", and their backs, I mean, they're freaking good. So.
Will you change how you approach coming off a bye week so your team plays well, coming out, and how you practice? You always do.
You know,
The same thing.
it's kind of weird. It's like I've never been able to find like a consistent formula. I think every year is a little bit different, you know, depending on when the bye week is and what happened previously, and what you need to get accomplished. I didn't even look back this year at last year's or the previous years. It's just kind of, you know, a feel for where you are based on your experiences. So this week was a little bit different than last year. Next year will probably be different than this year. You know, it's just a feel you get being around your team and seeing where they are emotionally and physically and what they need and what we need to focus on. So I felt good about the week. I thought the players responded really well. I think we did the right things. I don't feel like we will come out with any rust on us or anything like that. I mean, we practice hard, and hard practices knock any rust off. So we should be okay. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good day.